Next question is from Micah2448. The recommended daily allowance for protein is about 0.8 grams per kilogram of body weight per day, which is about 0.36 grams per pound of body weight for optimum health. Tell us why they are wrong.
Let's fix that sentence because there's an inaccuracy there. So the RDA is not designed for optimal health.
No, it's like the bare minimum you need to hit.
Right. The RDA is based on what will prevent related diseases that are connected to a deficiency in whatever they're recommending. So the RDA for vitamin C, vitamin K, vitamin D, magnesium, zinc, protein, fat, it's all based off of a safe minimum, okay, that will prevent you from developing issues. It is not optimum, okay? So apply this to anything in your life. What's the minimum you could work to barely pay your bills, right? Versus how much you would like to earn in order to live the life that you want. With protein, it's similar. Could you eat 0.36 grams per pound of body weight and not develop disease related to protein deficiency? Yes. Yes, you could. You'd be fine. You're probably not going to develop a protein deficiency if you ate that. Would that be the optimal amount for muscle growth, fat loss, performance, recovery, insulin sensitivity, longevity, bone health, like everything else? No, it's not. It's actually way lower than what is considered that would be optimal. And I'm not just speaking from anecdote. This is actually very well studied.
No. Lane talks about this. And in fact, the optimal or the to get the most is up above 1.5, and we recommend
per kilo.
Yeah. So I mean the easy and why we recommend 1-to-1. It's just easy. It's like it falls in the middle of that, right? It's not quite
1 gram per pound.
Yeah, it's just an easy, like whatever body weight you want to be, right? So that takes out the, like, what if you're 40% overweight, okay, versus 10% body fat? Like, okay, whatever body weight you want to be.
Hit that in grams of protein.
Hit that in grams of protein. It's like that simple, and you're going to get the optimal.
So here's what
and if you fall a little short of that, you're not going to die. You're not going to have major deficiencies. Yeah. That's what this is what comes from the RDA. You're going to be okay, but you're not going to build the most amount of muscle. And that's what most people's goal, whether it's fat loss or building muscle, want to build the most amount of muscle, because the more muscle you have for the fat loss client, the faster metabolism is going to work, the easier it's going to be to lose fat.
Let me give you an example of this. I just saw some data. This was communicated by Dr. Andy Galpin recently on strength training. And the question that he was asked, and he's one of the lead researchers on the effects of strength training on the body.
Yeah.
The question was, what's the minimum amount of strength training that someone can do to not lose muscle? And he wasn't talking about athletes. He wasn't talking about bodybuilders. He was talking about the average person. So the average person every 10 years will lose some muscle. How much can the average person do just to not lose muscle? You know what the answer was? It was something like 1 strength training session once every 2 or 3 weeks.
Now, is that?
Yes.
Wow.
Now, is that optimal? No, no, that's not going to get you to, that's not going to yield you all the benefits of strength training. Same is true with protein. And the studies on this are thorough, and there's a lot of them. This isn't just one study. There's a lot of studies on this. In fact, they've even controlled for calories, where they take groups of people, eat the same calories, except this group is high protein, as we're defining it, and this group over here is in what the RDA would consider a protein. So the calories are even the same. You know what they find? The high protein group is leaner, has more muscle, has better metabolic profile. So this is, I mean, if you eat this, you're going to be fine. But if you're listening to this podcast, you probably you want to feel your best. You want to do your best. You want to not overeat. You want to have, you want to get good response for your exercise. You want to have good health, in which case it's about double what they're recommending.
Well, and I feel like if I was talking to one of my clients that was like wrestling with this, and if we weren't trying to change their body composition and we had already achieved the physique, the health level, the performance level that they want, and they're just like asking me like, Adam, do I need to keep eating 1 gram per pound? I'd be like, no, it's not a big deal if you go under that, but you might potentially see some muscle loss if you don't at least hit the bare minimums every single day, which if you have a hard time getting 1, you might notice you do that. And so if that's the case, then bump it back up. But no, it's not gonna kill us. We're not gonna get a disease. You're not gonna have this massive deficiency if you drop down to the RDA. If we're trying to make changes, we're trying to make gains, we're trying to build muscle, we're trying to change your body composition. Well, by us not eating the 1-to-1, right? 1 gram for every pound you weigh, is just an easy way for you to stay towards the optimal levels for building muscle or body composition.
Just to give you an example, I weigh about 207, 208 pounds or so, right? According to the RDA, I would eat about 75 grams of protein a day or 70 grams of protein a day. Would be okay for me. I'm telling everybody right now, if I ate 70 grams of protein a day, I would notice dramatic loss.
You would lose muscle.
Performance and muscle.
You also have to keep in mind, though,
and my appetite would go up.
You have to keep in mind too, though, you've also built an abnormal amount of muscle for your body and your frame. So you're already
that's the best compliment ever. It's just abnormal.
Yeah, you're already for your bone and height and everything like that, carrying probably 15, 20 pounds more muscle than what was average or normal for your body. So in order to keep that, and that's a good point. This is actually a good point of using yourself as an example. The more muscle that you have built, I think the more that becomes important that this number stays at an optimal range in order to keep that. Otherwise, if you drop down to RDA, someone like you, your body would now you wouldn't get fat per se, but you would probably start to lose muscle, and then your body would start to kind of find homeostasis of, okay, if he's only eating this much protein, he trains this much, this is kind of
strength training plays a role, hormones play a role, stress plays a role, everything plays a role. But yeah, overall, this is just a low recommendation if you're looking to improve.